Good day and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Jashmer Ann L, Mandi. 18 years of age. I live in Kitamadat, Saudi, Ampatuan, Mindanao. In the lesson 18, the Soci-Emotinal development of the preschooler. But before we start, I will give you a hint about social and emotional. From the word social, it is basically refers on how we build relationship with others. It means we are creating sense of belongingness or connection with others. In short, social is relating in society. In the other hand, emotional means how a person express his or her feelings toward the sentimation. This time, we will focus on how preschoolers socialize and express their common feelings. Preschooler range of age is about 3 to 4 years old. And now let's proceed to the social-emotional development. Social-emotional development includes the child's experience, expression, and management of emotions. It only means that kids are very attached to this factor in their lives. They tend to grow and develop their personalities as well as with their experiences, feelings, or establishing themselves. Like in playing, that's the factor where they can express themselves easily and collect experiences and learning from it. And that's one of the reason why a child have their social-emotional development. That's why teacher and parents should promote social-emotional development by encouraging a child or acknowledging the accomplishment of a child. And now let's proceed to the preschoolers initiative. Going back to the lesson 8, Eriksson was a German-American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst. He is known for his theory on psychosocial development of human beings. Eriksson believed that personality developed in a certain series of stages, and those stages are the initiative versus guilt. But first, what is initiative? Time by time, children feel and express their emotions. Maybe they want that thing right now, then ignore it later or after. In short, their emotions are easily to change. It is because of their curiosity and all of the things they see, they really want to try it, and that can make them creative and inventive as well. In short, they are thirsty for knowledge. That's why they work for their own curiosity to satisfy their feelings. Additionally, when teacher and parents shows their support to a child, that child will achieve the sense of initiative. For example, wiping the floors. If the parent just let them do it and will show their support, the child will yearn to engage his or herself to this kind of household chores. With that, it will result to the ruthlessness. Their goals are the only things that matters. How about the guilt? If a child knew that the consequences of his or her actions, he or she will no longer do it again, and that feeling is called guilty. For example, a father who is hitting his son as part of the discipline, that's their way to make their child realize his or her mistakes, and that will result to inhibition. They knew or they know that if they will make mistakes, there is a punishment. That's why most of the time they consider themselves as salbahe or bad, bobo or dumb, or even walang kwenta or worthless. But as I observed, kids were born as a naughty or makulit. As poster said, you don't have to hit to hurt. Meaning, the things we say and the way we deal with preschoolers can already hurt them at this vulnerable stage. This could lead them into negativity that they bring until they become older. The key thing is to apply judicious permissive. Parents or even a teacher must have a good judgment or sense when a child made a mistakes. Hurting a child is not the key to teach them or to learn from their mistakes, but the best way is to have a serious conversation to them and explain to a child what are the good values or manner for them to develop a healthy sense of initiative in affirming, encouraging, and stimulating environment. And now let's proceed to the self-concept and preschoolers. Self-concept means a child view of himself. The preschooler self-concept mainly focuses on observable characteristics and his or her usual beliefs, emotions, and attitude. Preschoolers are naturally positive. They are usually have a strength to do something again even they didn't succeed to their last try. But they may become negative because of repeated frustration and disapproval. Preschooler really need a lot of patience and encouragement from adults. And now let's proceed to the environmental factors and gender in the preschooler's socio-emotional development. Gender typing means a child awareness when it comes to their gender. For example, a male child may attribute himself to the male gender by growing up and wanting to be the stereotypical man. Kids form their own gender identity by playing some toys, like a boy who is playing a toy car. So his identity is a male, and a girl who is playing a Barbie doll, and we can conclude that she is a female. Next is gender typing and gender identity. Gender typing and gender identity are influenced by environmental factors such as the family, teachers, peers, and mass media. A child's understanding of gender roots impacts on how they socialize with their peers and for relationship. Many children have a firm sense of their gender identity, while some children can express gender identity confusion because sometimes a boy wants to play a Barbie doll but he believes that he is a boy. It's maybe because all of his siblings are girls, and that's influenced him much. Next one is the gender schemas. It is based on children's interaction and observation. It means a child has different understanding when it comes to gender, and this gender schema guide their thinking that influence their behavior. It provides them about the maintenance and the power of their gender beliefs. Moreover, boys are expected to show their emotional control and be a competitive one, while girls are expected to be warm and soft, demure. Parents also expect their children to play with toys that are right to their gender. So now let's proceed to parenting stage of play. Play is the main agenda of the preschool years. It has a social dimension. Mandi Reed Parton in the year of 1930s did a study about children's play behavior, which led to parenting stage of play. And here are the 6 stages of the child's play. First one is the unoccupied. As you can see to the picture, a girl is looking for something. This not particularly playing, but her attention is on anything that interests her. In short, she is just playing through her imagination. The second one is the onlooker. The child prefer to watch on other child who are playing. The third one is the solitary play. Means the child prefer to play alone or independently. Next is parallel play. In this type of play for children doesn't have an interaction. The child have the same toy to his or her friends, but the child still focus to her or his attention to his or her work or toy. Next is associative play. The child play with others. In short, there is an interaction, but there's no task, assignment, rules, and organization are agreed upon. The last one is the cooperative. From the word cooperation, a child shows his or her willingness to accomplish a game or a task. And now let's proceed to the friendships in preschooler. Friendships benefit the preschooler's development by providing stimulation, assistance, championship, social comparison, and affection. Connecting themselves to others is the kind of socialization their childhood memories experience have more meaningful or purpose because they feel the affection of their friends. Moreover, friendship are very important because they provide or added sense of belongingness and security because friendship influence the child's development. Parents and teacher, when seeing preschooler in a fight, should not just say, "Tama na, ano ba yan? Isa pa ha, tama na, friends na kayo, say sorry na." Because parents and teachers should let a child fix their relationship with others or with his or her friends. You don't have to force them for the sake of fixing their relationship with others. They should be the one who should fixing it. So now let's proceed to the caregiving styles. Caregiving style means how a parent or teacher care for their child. This style can affect the social-emotional development of a child because caregiving style that they had adopt will be their behavior or it will result to a costume action. Diana Borind described the caregiving styles. She is an American and developmental psychologist that is responsible for the parenting styles. This was based on longitudinal study. Longitudinal study means the same time. Individuals are studied over a period of time, usually several years or more. Responsiveness refers to the caregiver behaviors. It is about on how the adult give some good responses to the children's. It involves openness in communication and willingness to explain things in a way that the child will understand. Demandingness refers to the level of control and expectations. This involved discipline and confrontation strategies. It described parental requirements for their children so that they develop into mature and responsible adult. To understand it crystal clear, let's just identify the Bormrin's caregiving style. First is the authoritative. It has a high demandingness and high responsiveness. It means there is a caregiver's response and potential requirements for their kids. For example, focus on obedience, punishment over discipline. The next one is authoritarian. It has a high demandingness and low responsiveness. There is no caregiver's responses. Example, create positive relationship, enforce rules. Next is the permissive. It has low demandingness and high responsiveness. For example, don't enforce rules, kids will be kids. And the last one is the negligent. It has low demandingness and low responsiveness. There's no expectation from parents and also caregivers' response or parents' responses. For example, provide little guidance, nurturing, or attention. So now, let's proceed to expression of basic emotions. In 37 to 48 months or 3 to 4 years old can basically express what he or she likes or dislike. They can also talk about their feelings like anger, sadness, worry, or anything that they have experienced. Self-regulation of feelings or emotion. Preschooler willing to try something in order to learn. Moreover, if unsure of successful outcome. For example, if a child climb into a tree, he or she won't hesitate to climb even though there is a possibility that he or she will fall down, because their actions are driven by curiosity and their eagerness to try and to experience something. Display or self-appraisal emotions such as shame, pride, and guilt. Preschoolers always want to play games. They are very confident in joining small groups to find playmates. With that, observe that their emotions are very evident. We can easily find out if they are happy with their playmates or sad. It is because at this age, they are very honest in terms of their emotions. Receptivity to others' emotions. Preschoolers feel others' distrust and act appropriately, such as helping, comforting, or etc. As we can see, at this age, they are not hesitate to help to their playmates or friends. Emerging sense of self. They are already have the knowledge about their self, or they already know the rules of the people around them. They also talk about parts of the body and their functions. They keep on questioning what is this, what is the purpose of this, and they also talk about their own specific abilities and characteristics such as dancing, singing, etc. Forming attachment. It's like they show preference for the company of adults or children. They want over those unfamiliar adults and children. They also interact with other children like playing using the same equipment or sharing their toys with their playmates. Interaction with adults. Preschoolers' interaction with adults in 36 to 48 months. Preschoolers verbalize feelings related to events that arise in classroom, home, and environment in positive way. So we have pakiramdam or sensitivity. They just already know when to stop being makulit. For example, if a child is starting to being makulit, we can just stare his or hers to stop. And they also appreciating diversity. They keep on asking questions about differences in socio-economical status, in dialects, or in gender. For example, Mama, why are they speak different? Or Mama, why are they like that? And they are also willing to make friends in different situation and location. As we observe, even they are just new to that place. For example, in beach, 100% they would have a new friends. And now, let's proceed to our last topic, which is the role of caregivers in the social-emotional development of the preschooler. So the parents and teacher plays a big role in developing the social-emotional and the preschoolers. Like they need to teach them on how to be sincere and respectful to each child. They teach them how to deal about friendship, encourage them to work together and getting along with others' children, teach them how to request, bargain, negotiate, and apologize, help the children to understand and cope up with strong feelings by giving them words that they can use to express themselves and acknowledge how the child feels. And lastly, they need to affirm the efforts made to accomplish something with that social-emotional development of preschoolers will be successful.